Hey everybody, don't worry about this is nothing, but welcome to part 2 of zine making. Today we're just going to discuss example zines, zines I've bought, zines I've made, and one little micro sketchbook tour, which is kind of stacked in here. So, let's get started. These are some zines I've picked up from kind of various things. Most of these two I bought from an artist directly on their website. These are from this little place out in Philadelphia, which I'm forgetting the name of, but I can find it and leave it in the description. And this one I traded from a friend. And these are from DC Zine Fest 2019, a little zine convention basically that took place at this little place called Art Enables, which is a non-profit that supports disabled artists. So I'm gonna get into these ones first. I'm just gonna kind of go through this kind of quick, talk about the format and then kind of what the content is. And for some of these short ones, I'll go through all of them, but for the longer ones, I'll flip kind of sporadically. So the first one's Folio, a little $2 zine by Brianna Bender. Do a little quick, nice little comic. It's always nice to have like micro comics. And there's her handle. Skeletons in Your Kitchen. This is like a pseudo informational zine. It's kind of non-linear. You can see like it opens up a little strangely. And I will note there is some nudity in some of these. They are pretty mature. Zines tend to be a very like free-formed format, so you can pretty much include any amount of like nudity that you want. So some of these do have that. And I'll just kind of flip through this. And it kind of flips through, then also folds out in kind of an interesting way. You can pause, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause and kind of look at these videos. Now, if you unfold it, it has this big cut down the center. And you can kind of see it like this. Fun. Turn it this way. So like that. You can just zip it up and fold in half. Neat. Skeletons in Your Kitchen. TV Ruts Your Brains is a nice cheap reprint of this. I think this is mostly collage. It's another folio. Nice, folded in half, stapled together. I know, I picked this up on a whim, not really knowing a lot about the show show that I'm discussing. I think I just got so excited to see zines, I just picked up as many as I could. Oh, Robin Tooney from The Mentalist, if you know her. Yeah, so I guess as long as I'm flipping through these, I'll kind of ask, do you guys make zines of your own? I figure if you're here, you probably have interest in zines, but yeah. But, you know, just wanted to make sure you guys make zines, and if you do, kind of what stuff do you like to write about? Like, I know some people like to do comics. I do, like, kind of list zines, kind of like humorous lists, which I can get into when I go to my homemade ones. This one's made. This one I traded for from a friend in my English class. Yeah. Or maybe if you've never made a zine, you know, what would you write about? Like if you have any interest, like what's the kind of thing you would want to write about? Ooh, oh, this is fun. This is a little 8-page zine that I showed you guys. But on the back, on the unused side, she like hand drew these. Because the rest of it is like photocopied collage, but these are drawings. So this is like a funny little like pseudo recipe zine, but it's really like kind of absurd and strange. And there's like parts about demons and you know, fighting away demons and purifying your apartment. These two are ones I bought directly from an artist. I don't think they call them zines. I think they just probably call them comics. Self-published comics, but you know, it's kind of in the same boat. And I figure I should show you them. This is by Dakota McFadzean. I'm not actually sure how to pronounce that name, but they're really cool. I won't show every page of this because you should probably, if you want to check it out, you can always, you know, go to this person's website and buy it from them directly. This one's about Mr. Rogers. See, DakotaMcFadzean.com. All very cool. We haven't gotten, I guess this TV retro breeds was the most informational, and the rest of these are pretty much mostly fiction. But their informational zines are always a cool direction to go. This is kind of a horror comic. Actually, this one and the other one by Dakota are both horror. That was kind of strange, surreal. You can't read any of this text. It's not no text, but I think this is Dakota McFadden right there. And now we can get the stuff from Zine Fest. Oh, I love Zine Fest. Zine Fest was pretty much. Oh, I'll do Man Boy first. Man Boy is a comic made by one or two people, writer and illustrator. And I picked this up at Zine Fest. They have this little thing called Snack King Comics, is I think what their branding is. And this is like a collection of all the first few Man Boy comics. And I'll just see colors, cover art, and colors by Lance, and then written by Dane Perlstein. Yeah, and this is a nice full color comic, so it's kind of an option. And another folio one. I always this is folio, and the Dakota ones are both folio too. Most of these are folio. Yeah, this is a nice full color comic. A little it's kind of like those like kind of gross out adult humor kind of things you'll see on kind of an Adult Swim situation. So if you're thinking about making comics, you know, it's kind of, you know, interesting to think about what kind of finish you want in your art. Because I know some people, like this one's very like full color and the Dakota one's full color, but then this one's like just black and white, pretty sketchy quality, kind of a rougher quality to it. You know, I tend to make zines pretty rough. That's a personal preference. But, you know, it's always interesting to see people's different level of finish. This one I traded for. I think it's a little, it's like you get a CD, and I got this little zine. It's got like information about the soundtrack and track list. This little 8-page, classic 8-page zine. I love those. Cool. IG, a perpetual waste and repair. Perpetual waste and repair. And I'm probably not gonna like link these in the description. All the IG pages. It's just there's too many of them. We'll flip through these real quick. Oh, Scritch by St. Pass. It's like a funny little, like kind of that classic horror scenario where you think it's like your dog or your pet or something, but it's really some strange entity or unknown entity. It would have been a little creepier if the entity stayed unknown at the end, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. We all have our own takes to horror, and plus that, I think that has a more of a comedic bend. Now this is one by one of the artists at Art Enables, one of the resident artists. And it's a little old, I think it's from 1998. Yeah. And it has like a kind of a funny, I do find this really charming. I think I like the rough quality of the colors. And kind of a strange, there's like a weird dark turn at the end, and I feel like it's, I'm not sure if that's intentionally funny, but it is kind of strangely humorous. Man, well, here's the other Man Boys. I think these are the other two, like there's the first batch, this is the first three, and then these are the other two. And this is another 8-page. And it's full print, so those are all done digitally, which is another option when you're making zines. You can try different types of media. I'll flip through. You've already, if you want to check these out, the artists, you can go to Snack King Comics and keep up with them. They're just, you can go digitally. Some people, a lot of these are, so this one's like woodcut relief. Some of these are arranged digitally but drawn originally in traditionally with like colored pencils or done with just collage. this is one I love, the ramen omancy. Another nice thing to do if you're considering making zines is to kind of do one with a friend. You know, do like a short zine. Lots of people do fanzines, and fanzines are really cool. It'll just be a collection of artists and writers who kind of like, you know, pull together to put something together, and then they'll like sell it. Sometimes for charity, sometimes they'll split the funds, stuff like that. I don't think there's information about this person's social media, but still very cool. Can I go through this one? That's another digital one. I find when I make zines, I like to do them just in pens. I do a lot of like really rough stuff. That's really just like, I just use a pen and some marker or something. Some like Crayola marker. But there are, you can do like more finished ones with like dip pens, like dip pen ink, India ink, marker, watercolors. Pretty much the world's your oyster with zines. These are just kind of things to get your juices flowing. Juices. Oh, and here's some more nudity. Fleshy indiscretions. Which kind of should have known from the cover. Some cool little rats. And some more nudity. Yeah, so. It is always important to keep in mind if you're getting into zines. They're not always, there's a little bit of a warning in advance that they can be pretty suggestive or kind of blatantly inappropriate, I guess. Yeah. Although if you're an adult, you know, you can kind of just know your own, you know, level of comfort. Oh yeah, this is another digital one. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of resolution problems here. You can kind of see that. So when you're printing things, and if you're sending stuff out to get printed at like Office Depot, kind of be sure you know what the resolution requirements are, because you don't want things to be blurry. I mean, I still bought this, but not everyone likes a blurry zine. And these are two literary ones by Budget Press. And this one also has some resolution problems on just this part. I think this is a separate image and this is text. So we'll just flip through this. I picked these up kind of also on a whim. I picked them up because I saw the prints and I thought, oh, they're great. Oh, there it goes. I was thinking it's kind of out of focus. And I'll flip it in the middle here. You guys can, come on. Let's get in there. Nope, it's blurry. It's blurry, guys. There we go, perfect. Okay. Stuff like that. These are, I think, a collection of like short stories and poetry. And then Terrible Stories by Kelly McClure. This is a cool one. I think this is a lithograph. And that's what the person at the stand told me. And these are all, this is also the same group, Budget Press, Johnny Baker Publishing. And these are all pretty long, so I can't really show you them. But if you're looking, you can probably find these guys all online. They all got their own presences. Now we can get into mine, the ones I know a lot about, because I made them. And now let's get into personal zines that I've made. So these are all of kind of varying qualities. Most of these, pretty much all of these are 8-page. I'll kind of divvy them up, 8-page, 8-page. Actually, I think literally every one of these is 8-page. Except for this isn't really a zine. Classic me. They're all 8-page. Okay. I'm gonna flip through these. Oh yeah, someone, Emil, I think that's how you pronounce your name. I kind of asked, kind of what I'm studying and why I'm into the chipmunks, and I figure I should, you know, talk a little about it. Because I have commented it, but, you know, it's good to include that in a video to make things more widely known. So I'm an art student. I'm a senior at college, and I'm studying visual arts. Mostly just doing kind of any medium, essentially. I'm not specialized. Some other art students are. It's pretty common to take on a focus, but I kind of, instead of doing that, I've kind of just done whatever I want. Mostly because I changed majors from engineering pretty late in my college career. So I kind of had to, yeah, just go with the flow and do whatever. But mostly I enjoy printmaking. Printmaking's a big one. I like drawing, especially ink drawing. And I do some painting, but it's not my favorite. Painting is something I kind of do to, you know, for the sake of practice. And as for the chipmunks, what's up with that? I do really enjoy the chipmunks. I think they were an early influence because pretty early in, I remember finding a model sheet for the chipmunks from the Chipmunk Adventure, and I got really attached to them. I thought they were like, you know, it's kind of how I learned a lot of cartooning and a lot of how to build shapes to make bodies. Although it's kind of left an impression on my art. It's very cutesy, which I'm not always into, but I kind of know what I'm doing. I kind of know where I've come from, and it's something I'm always working on. This one's cool names for a cool dude. I was someone else coming up with names for myself. I'm still Simone, but I was thinking it would be cool to come up with a different name. A little nickname, maybe. I know. A little cyborg in there. I know, you know, funny. It's an excuse to draw Robin, really. Oh yeah, I did consider naming myself Miles after Miles Davis. But I kept thinking about Miles Morales, and I was like, I don't think I really want to be named after Miles Morales. It seems kind of goofy. Oh, here's Bad Guys. This is based on, yeah, Craig Gleason's Bad Guys Club. I'll link his Instagram in the description. He's an illustrator, and he has a lot of like funky kind of things. And here's my Instagram, not his for some reason. Oh, me and my Instagram. Always letting you guys know what it is. Yeah, this is actually an Inktober prompt. Do you guys ever do Inktober? I know, Inktober is such a hard thing for me. I find I kind of avoid. I did it for 2 years. And when I say I did Inktober, I mean I got through like half a month-ish. And then I kind of finished up the illustrations kind of afterwards. But with Bad Guys Club, I just straight up didn't do Inktober at all that year. Last year, really. And instead, I kind of just used the Bad Guys Club as prompts for the rest of the year. This is actually, oh yeah, so this one and this one are pretty much twins. This is an earlier version, so I guess they're more like siblings. This is the older brother, he's very small. And it's in pencil, so it's not really legible, but theme prompts the HTML. So if you're thinking of, this is one I made kind of as a way of holding on to ideas for zines. So just learn what a zine is and don't know where to start, here are some prompts to get juices flowing. And can you read that? Is it? Yeah, there it is. So the first thing is a list. You know, you can make a zine, like a little 8-page zine that's just a list, and you can list one item per page, or you can list multiple items per page. And then you can like illustrate it. And I'm mostly talking about zines with reference to illustration. Here's an informative pamphlet. You can kind of use information and then like kind of draw and stuff. But if you're a writer, writers also make a lot of zines. I showed you some of those zines from that publishing company. Those are all literary how-to guide. This is also literary to informational. But if you're thinking about writing a zine that's just like a small book, that's also a totally viable option. And then you can, you know, get some cool cover art for me. You can commission me. Nah, I'm joking. I mean, you can. I would accept it. DM me. Or anything you can think of. Yeah, this is the part where this is kind of free-flowing. You can make zines about anything, really. These are kind of topics. You can do kids' toys, cake, your hobbies, emails. There's a zine called Spam that's just all about subject lines of spam emails. And that's a really cool one. I can't find it. I don't have it personally. I remember seeing it at a zine workshop. But if I can find any information about it, I'll let you guys know. Here's some mediums you can always use. Sand, cutouts, fabric, relief prints, old recipes, old receipts. But also old recipes over too. Crayon, collage. Collage is a big one. A lot of early zines are very collage heavy. Because zines were big in, I think the earliest zines were fanzines, like actual like fanzines for like Star Trek and stuff, where fans would kind of like compile their information. This is kind of the same thing. I'll just flip through this one. Oh, this one is the nicer one. Yeah, but then at some point in punk DIY culture in the, I want to say 80s, these were also really big because you can kind of like get your own information out there. You just fold something up, photocopy it, and distribute it, and you'd have, you know, some information about maybe, you know, whatever you want to talk about, Revolution, your favorite band, how to tune a guitar, or whatever. So I'm not super familiar with the punk scene and zines in the punk scene as they function, but I I am familiar with it based on some kind of loose research, and also know zines are popular with marginalized communities, feminist groups, generally just because it's since it's like kind of DIY and self-published, it's really a great voice for like marginalized groups that like can't necessarily have the same access to like mainstream media outlets, and you like distributing information amongst your own like group. Yeah, it's these have a really cool history. And we'll just look through these. Lefty Portraits by Simone. It's me. Oh, there's me. And this little quarto, finally a quarto. The rest of these have been 8-page, pretty much. I do love an 8-page zine. Forgot about this one. Oh, here's some. Okay, I'll save these two for last because I think they're very fun, but they're a little denser. Let's look through these. Oh, funny little illustrations. I'll try and link some zine resources in the description too. I think these are such a cool little project. And there's a lot of zine libraries that'll collect zines, but it's hard to find resources about them. I know there's a book called What You Mean What's a Zine? What You Mean What's a Zine? That's that has some like information about zine libraries and zine publishers, but I think it's a little outdated. But it is still a great resource for kind of doing some basic run, looking through zines. A lot of zinesters, that's what I think that's what the people who make zines are called. They probably talked about it. If you've seen other zine videos, they do discuss what you mean with a zine. It's like a huge kind of force. But if you're just looking into like making zines, like the format, you really don't need the book. You can probably just like look up a video on bookbinding or basic folding methods. I mean, making books outside of like the idea of a zine is like obviously totally around. Now I posted this one on Instagram. It's one of my favorites. It's just funny. And there's some nudity, cartoons, scam. Here's Mickey holding a wad of money. I think I have discussed. Mickey somehow makes a lot of appearances in here as like an image of capitalism, but you know, I'm an artist, I gotta be like that sometimes. And these two are both kind of text, not text, more kind of loose images that don't really have a context. There's kind of things. I have tried selling zines. Not at Zine Fest. I couldn't get a booth in time, sadly. I didn't register. I should have. If there's another Zine Fest in 2020, I'm definitely going. I'm gonna try and table. But I have sold zines at like open air markets hosted by Living Artisan Company. I've talked about them before. But they're like a little group that kind of supports artists. I'm not sure how much they're doing these days, but they're around. I know they're local. They're not really. They're local to where I live. But I have done some selling, and some of the more abstract ones don't sell as well. But you know, people appreciate them every once in a while. Oh, this is a great one. This is one I'm thinking of. This one and this Batman villain one are ones these were mock-ups, like early versions, and I'm thinking of kind of redoing them either possibly on video, on like nicer quality paper, just doing the illustrations and then arranging them digitally and then kind of printing them through like an Office Depot or something. I just think there's a lot of great ideas in here that I would love to kind of clean up and kind of publish for distribution. So if you're interested in seeing me kind of work on these, like make a zine, like just draw up a zine, like and do kind of like a more detailed version of these, you know, leave a comment. Like the video maybe. I always appreciate you guys coming by, watching. It's just, this isn't something I expect to get like huge, but YouTube's just kind of a fun little thing, surprisingly. I don't talk much in real life, but I do enjoy a little, you know, monologuing at, oh, I'm supposed to do this. This one's a little unfinished one. I do enjoy monologuing, is what I'm saying. Here's a quick one, dog resumes. This is another SketchUp that I would like to develop further. And you can see there's not really other pages. But just some dog resumes, cool idea. And I'm gonna end this video with one quick sketchbook tour. One quick little sketchbook tour. And I think I just kind of want to talk about, I'll also go through it, see what I like, see what I don't like. I always think sketchbook tours really are my big thing. And this one is, I think I made it out of scrap paper from when I was doing a bookbinding project. You get a lot of paper that's the same size, so you're cutting it. And I just kind of rubber banded it together and make myself a little mini sketchbook I can use. Yeah, it took me a couple months to do. I think I was kind of using it between things, and we're not going to try and read this, because it's illegible, and I will be rotating a lot, sadly. Oh, there is some gore in here, I will note. This next page does have a little bit of gore in it. Oh, not this side, this side. I kind of went ham with the alcohol markers in here. I got a pack of like off-brand ones from like a Ross or something, and it came with this kind of limited color palette, and I kind of use it a lot. Not right now, I'm not using a lot because it's in my basement. I moved a bunch of art supplies to the basement because I thought I would start working down there, but it's actually really tedious working in the basement, so I do not do it. I'm trying to move down to the basement. Chipmunk characters. Yeah, chipmunks really did leave a big mark on me, man. Like this, you can see the kind of like this is how I draw the chipmunks too, is like this round face, little nose, freckles. Freckles are a big part of how I draw the chipmunks now. Don't ask me why. Yeah, I always wonder if you guys have like any kind of childhood media that really influenced your art, if you make art. Any childhood media that influences your kind of creative process or that kind of stuck with you if you're not an artist. I'd like to hear it. For me, it was Chipmunks and Teen Titans and Ed, Edd and Eddy to a certain extent. I knew someone who was really into Phineas and Ferb. And she eventually went to, I don't know her personally, I followed her on social media, and eventually she went on to work on Milo Murphy's Law, which I think is just like such a great success story. It kind of makes me want to like go into animation, but I don't enjoy animating. It's something I want to learn how to do, just because I like to learn how to make things. But it's not something I see doing as a career. I find animating really tedious. But I think at some point, I kind of, it's like a dream of mine to kind of do like freelance like character design work for animation. But the direction I'm going right now is more education. This is all made out of like scrap, like magazine paper. I'm gonna bleed through in here. There's nothing on. There's nothing here. Yeah, this one I wasn't too stressed about keeping every page complete. It was kind of just a little sketchbook I kept in my bag for when I was doing stuff. And I think these are notes from when I went to the museum. I live near DC, so I go down to the museum every once in a while, check out the stuff. Oh wait, no, I think this was I think I might have been out in California with my mom. My mom does work sometimes, and she travels a lot, so sometimes I'll tag along. Yeah, we're not gonna pause any of this visuals, any of the writing, because it's basically illegible. That's also hard to see anyway. Okay, this is the right one. Got turned around for a second there. More writing. I think what is this? Major chord. Oh, I was trying to teach myself piano. Did not happen. Got started. Did a couple days of practicing, and then I got turned around by school. Oh, school. Probably just mess a guy up. Let's see more stuff about the chords. Oh yeah, these are kind of fun. I really liked these. These were all alcohol markers on just regular paper. It's kind of funky illustration. What does that say? Find OG Redbubble image. Oh. Oh yeah, okay. The that image is actually, I think I kind of stole, I don't know if I stole, but I kind of stole. This image is from a Redbubble illustration that I bought, and I should probably go find it if I'm gonna use it in this video. I'll try and link to it in the description. It's a fish. Oh, I do love this fish. It's so great. I think these kind of like fleshy intestines were inspired by this animation called Chadum, C-H-A-D-U-M. It's made by one of the guys who was in the band The Used, was it? Was it The Used? I'll look it up. But there's a scene where this dude is like killing people. It's a kind of a dark, kind of a strange, dark animation. And there's a point where there's kind of like, he's like doing dissections of people, and there's a shot of these intestines that I thought was so like, I found it like really like beautiful. Not beautiful, strong word. I think I thought the color palette was something I would have thought of for intestines. But then you look at actual intestines, like clean intestines, they are pretty green. Like I was looking at lamb intestines for an art project, you know, like a crazy person. And they do have like a greenish, sometimes yellowish tint to them, which is like really fascinating and beautiful. And we're at the end here. Well, thank you for tuning in for the second part. I'm considering doing a third part where I make a zine, like sit down and draw out a whole zine. It'll be a pretty long video, but if you're interested, you know, kind of leave a comment or a like, and I'll, you know, get working on it. It's something I think would be kind of cool, but it might take a little longer than some of these other ones. So I'll probably do either one of these two, because I think they're just funny and they've got like a lot of potential for like drawing, cool drawings. But yeah, thank you for stopping by. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. You got any concerns, leave those in the comments. Thanks for coming by, thanks for watching. And I'll see you, and you will see me in the next video. Bye.